All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are for another match at Muffin Meadow at the 31st Annual Ohio Cup Vintage Baseball Festival. I'm Swamp Fox Frias, broadcasting somewhat live for our match between the Tippecanoe Canal Jumpers and the Canal Fulton Mules. Here we are in beautiful Muffin Meadow. Tippecanoe is going to have their first at-bat with Mr. Featherstone leading off. He's going to foul one off behind the plate. Going to line a shot off of Captain Ed Schumann, who is the hurler for the Fulton Mules. He's going to recover from the shock of being hit by the ball and trying to make a throw over to first, but not in time as Canal has a runner on. I tell you what, the Schumann brothers, we got to see Andy Schumann earlier today, and now we get to see Captain Ed Schumann, some of my favorite hurlers in vintage baseball. I just love the way that they deliver the ball across the plate. I am a biased announcer. I apologize. I was a Canal Fulton Mule in the summer of '06. Ground ball to the shortstop is going to scoop over to second base for the second out of the inning. Oh, I apologize. That is one hand. I apologize for that. That was Mr. Featherstone who got out at second base. Mr. Reinhardt has taken his first base. That would bring up Mr. Croker. The Canal Fulton Mules hail from Canal Fulton, Ohio, obviously.
I know.
There's a hard, that would be a fair ball that was fielded by the Tippecanoe captain, and he did not realize it was a foul ball until the ball was resting in his hand, and so he promptly dropped it, but allowed his runners to make their second and first bags with one out here. That would bring up Mr. Hanselman.
One hand now, first, second, or third. What power of mimosa do you go front?
The Canal Fulton Mules will be celebrating their 30th anniversary of vintage baseball next season. They are truly one of the gems of vintage baseball in the Midwest, a staple group of the Northeast Ohio section of vintage baseball. As I was stating, I had the opportunity to be a Canal Fulton Mule for a whole summer. It was a magical summer of '06. As there's a pop fly out to left field, left fielder playing deep has to run in, makes a one-handed grab. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that from our behind the plate angle because the tree was blocking it, but that would be the second out of the inning, bringing up Mr. Blaine to the plate. The Canal Jumpers hail from Tippecanoe, Ohio, as a foul ball is hooked way foul. They go to collect. Tippecanoe, Ohio, they, I don't know if it's been mentioned here, they host the amazing event, the Tippecanoe Cup, the Tip Cup, during the Mum Festival, which is usually the last weekend in September. Such a wonderful event. if you have the means to schedule with the Tippecanoe Canal Jumpers, I would say you should definitely inquire about the Tip Cup. Mr. Blaine waiting on his pitch. Captain Ed super crafty at the plate. Runners at second and third. A lot of hitters in vintage baseball don't really appreciate the Schumann style of pitching, but I do, as there's a line shot over the third baseman's head into left field that's going to plate an ace. The throw's going to come in. It's not going to be in time, and it's going to be away from the third baseman. We're throwing the ball around. They're going to throw the ball home as Mr. Blaine takes his second bag, and 2 aces come across for the Canal Jumpers. Off to a great start here in the first inning of baseball. That'll bring Mr. Hauser to the plate. Hooser. With a runner on second and 2 outs. He's going to chop the ball towards the second baseman. Second baseman's going to run over, scoop, throw over to first for the 3rd out of the inning. That's something that we talk about all the time here on the Roller Out the Barrel podcast, is that when there's usually one error, and then that leads to multiple errors as the fielders try to make up for either a misplayed ball, and that usually leads to a bad throw, which leads to more runs. So at the top of the first, after the top of the first inning, Tip City, the Tippecanoe Canal Jumpers, have 2 runs as the Canal Fulton Mules come to the plate. It definitely has not cooled off. If anything, it's gotten hotter since our last broadcast. It is 90 degrees right now as Mr. Porter takes to the plate. He's going to pound into the ground, past the shortstop, hits the apple tree, scoots over to the left fielder, who's able to pick up the ball and not an apple, as Mr. Porter's on base with his first swing of the bat. Mr. Wetcher at the plate. He's going to swing and drive the ball out to left field. It's going to be fielded on one hop. They're going to have to tag Mr. Porter, but it is a bad throw. The second baseman's not going to be able to handle it, as Mr. Porter's going to round second and easily take his 3rd bag. One out here in bottom of the first. Oh, the legend himself, Sean Pappy Burke. I would say the godfather of the fair foul. But fair fouls are outlawed here at the Ohio Cup, so you probably won't be able to see that. Runner on third. I can honestly say I definitely learned how to fair foul by watching Pappy Burke here. Going to chop it to the third baseman. Shortstop's going to range over, field the ball. The throw is going to be wide and not in time. It's going to get past the first baseman. Mr. Porter is going to tally the ace as Pappy moves to take his 2nd bag. He's going to round 2, but they are not going to send him to third base as the throw comes in. Mr. Dijek's going to drill the ball out to left field, but unfortunately hit it right to the left fielder. Didn't really have to work for it. So there's going to be a fly out to left field for the second out of the inning, bringing up Mr. Armburst.
2 in a row.
Canal Fulton is answering what Tip City did in the first inning. I'm sure they would like to get Mr. Burke across the plate. It's going to take a well-placed ball here to move Pappy from second to score. I love that we have the Canal teams. This is the Battle of the Canals at the Ohio Cup. The Canal Fulton Mules and the Tippecanoe Canal Jumpers. Mr. Armburst is going to hook the ball foul. Third baseman's going to have an opportunity to make the play, but it's going to slip through his hands, and he's not able to corral it on the first bounce, so there's new life for Mr. Armburst. There's a drive straight to the second baseman. Oh. Second baseman was expecting that ball to bounce up. It stayed low and got past him out into right field. We have runners on the corner with 2 outs. Mr. Armburst takes his first, and Pappy takes his third with Sonny at the plate.
All right, 1 or 2.
Sporting a very patriotic bat, Sonny is. It's a grand old bat. Showing his preference. Maybe I should add a sound effect for every pass ball, every pitch. There we go. There's one. Once again, matches are timed here at the Ohio Cup, which means that at-bats are precious. As Sonny's going to line the ball out into left field, scoring Pappy, tying the game. We have runners at first and second with 2 outs.
Here you go, Doc. Thank you, sir.
That brings up the captain, Beefy Phillips, to the plate. He's going to chop the ball. It's going to be fielded by the hurler. An easy throw over to first base for the third out of the inning. The Canal Fulton Mules are able to answer with 2 runs, tying the game. We're deadlocked at 2 heading into the second inning. A lot of baseball has happened today, well, all weekend at the Ohio Cup. It's how it works for scheduling. Ohio teams, they consider local teams, are allowed 1 day of play at the Ohio Cup, and out-of-state teams get the all weekend. So this is the Mules' only day at the Ohio Cup, as well as the Canal Jumpers from Tippecanoe. We're starting off the top of the second here with Mr. Hurt at the plate. It's going to be a fly ball out to left field. It's going to be foul, but fielded on the first bounce as the left fielder was running immediately on contact, able to track down the ball in foul territory on the first bounce for out number 1, bringing Mr. Miller to the plate. This is, I want to say, I mean, geez, This is the 3 o'clock match. This is the penultimate match of the Ohio Cup at Muffin Meadow. And as you can see, as Mr. Miller takes another pitch, let me get that sound effect. There we go. Oh, wrong one. Another line shot at Captain Ed, who's going to pick it up, fire over to first for out number 2. It's not personal, but they need to stop picking on Captain Ed. I don't know if you can tell by our angle at home plate, but in the backdrop, that is the Ohio History Center, which is has a historic landmark for its brutalist architecture. There's a ground ball to the shortstop, fielded on a candy hop. Throw over to first base is going to be low, but get past the first baseman. A fan is going to pick up the ball, stop it from rolling, and throw it back to the first baseman for Canal Fulton. Runner, Mr. McMurray takes his second with 2 outs as captain Sean Sugden is up to the plate. Had a conversation with Mr. Sugden this morning, said he's battling an Achilles injury, and so running is difficult for him, that he's been fighting off for a few weeks now. As he swings hard, but unable to get the ball in fair play as Pappy Burke snags it out of the air on a foul tick out for the 3rd out of the inning. Mules are able to hold Tip City to no runs as we head into the bottom of the 2nd inning. Talking about brutalist architecture, as you drive by 71 north or south, you can't help but notice the big box building right there next to the fairgrounds, and that is the Ohio History Center, which is the backdrop of Muffin Meadow. Mr. Walbeck for the Mules will be up here in the bottom of the 2nd. Woo.
Darker to the line.
I can honestly say you won't find 2 clubs that enjoy playing historic baseball as much as the Tippecanoe Canal Jumpers and the Canal Fulton Mules. Just a really great bunch of guys. As mentioned earlier, the Capitals had the privilege to step in and fill in for a missing team this morning for a 9 o'clock match as Mr. Walbeck chops the ball down to the shortstop, who runs in, fields it on a hop. It's going to be a close play at first. The throw won't be in time. Mr. Walbeck will take his first base. Mr. Bailey will be up to bat next. And it was, just a delight. We threw together as many people as we could. We wanted to get 9. We had some help from some friends from Droverton to fill in with Capital Blue, and it was just a fun match to start off the day. Oh, wait up, there we go. Gotta keep up on the sound effects here, the pitches. You definitely want to... Oh, there's another one. Throw over. Not really sure what's happening there, but Mr. Walbeck still at first bag. Or maybe we'll do air horns. No? Mr. Bailey's going to chop the ball, tripping up Mr. Walbeck, who can't find his footing. The right fielder can't find his footing as he makes a diving throw to second base. Mr. Walbeck, had he not lost his footing between first and second bag, you would think he'd be standing on second base right now, but he was forced out for the first out of the inning. Mr. Bailey takes his first bag. Mr. Ryan at the plate. going to take a swing at that, but not make contact with it. It's going to be 2 swings. That's a good placement of the ball. It's going to hit right in front of the catcher, bounce back to the catcher, who has to make a throw all the way across the field to second base. Trying to get Mr. Bailey, will not be in time, as the Mules have runners on first and second with 1 out, with the captain, Captain Ed, coming up to the base. I can tell by the instruction that Mr. Ryan is receiving, this might be his first experience with vintage baseball.
I just came from there.
Captain Ed is a great line drive hitter, but does not have the fleet of foot. I'm pretty certain that if he can get the ball out to right field, that Mr. Bailey is going to try and score from second. Captain Ed's going to drive it out to center field. It is going to get down. It's going to get between center field and the left field. Mr. Bailey's rounding third, heading for home. Mr. Ryan's heading to third, as Captain Ed is going to stay at his first bag. Don't sleep on Captain Ed. Mr. DeMore at the plate with the runners on the corners. I mean, you might be able to sleep on Captain Ed if you're thinking he's going to steal second base on a muff, but Mr. DeMore is going to chop the ball straight up the middle. The shortstop's going to range over, flip over to second. Mr. DeMore is going to beat the throw by a long way as Mr. Ryan crosses the bag. Mr. Schumann will be the second out of the inning. Bringing up the top of the order, we have Mr. Porter with 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Mr. Porter is a very strong striker. I guarantee he's looking at that left field. Told you. Wants to put it down the line and into the valley, but swung a little early on that. Probably should wait about 2 hippopotamuses and then swing. I've talked about the Tippecanoe Cup, which is an event hosted by the Canal Jumpers, Canal Days in Canal Fulton, hosted by the Canal Fulton Mules in July. As Mr. Porter is going to swing and drive it up into the air, it's going to get down as the second baseman ranges trying to make it. The right fielder was playing too deep to make a play on that ball. In the scorebook, it's going to be a line drive. We have runners at first and second. Mr. Wetcher up to the bat. But Canal Days at Canal Fulton Mules is a fantastic event in July. The Canal Fulton Mules do a great job. It is a fantastic place for vintage baseball. As there is a drive out to left field, the left fielder had to wait to see where the ball was coming because he couldn't see it over the tree. The ball played him as Mr. DeMore crosses home plate. Mr. Porter takes his third, Mr. Wetcher takes his second. It is a difficult task out there for a left fielder to see the ball coming off the bat and where it is going to eventually land if you were playing behind the tree. It is not easy as Pappy Burke comes up to the plate. So you're going to see a lot of players either playing to either side of the tree, which then opens up a gap in the field. And a good hitter is going to see the down the baseline gap. If they compensate and head towards the baseline, there's going to be a gap between center and left. Oh, wait up. There you go. 2 pitches going by. Pappy Burke pounding the ground to the third baseman. Third baseman picks it up. Long throw across the plate, across the baseball field, and Pappy Burke is going to make his first base. Sorry, I got distracted by all the guests showing up. Mr. Porter tallies his ace. We have runners on the corner. First and third. It's going to be a shot right back up the middle to the pitcher. The pitcher's going to stop the ball. He's not even going to run because he feels bad about doing that. Apologize and shake his hand as the pitcher makes the play over to the first bag for the third out of the inning. And that is something unique to vintage baseball. Like, you're going to see, we're not out here to hurt each other. We're all aware that we have lives after this, and it is not that serious because we are wearing silly uniforms in 90-degree heat. So he did not mean to hit the ball right back to the pitcher, immediately felt bad about it, chose not to run down the first baseline. Instead, allowed the out to be made, shake the hand, and apologize. As the Canal Fulton Mules tallied 4 runs that inning to take a 6-2 lead heading into the top of the third. Tip City's bringing up the top of the order as in this inning with Mr. Featherstone at the plate.
Good as it gets. Don't be choosy. The first one's usually the best.
What up? There you go.
The best, I'm just saying.
There's been a pitching change as Beefy Phillips is going to be at the dish. Swing and a miss. His crew is very supportive of him. You can hear that support. There's a drive right up the middle. Mr. DeMore playing second is going to pick it up, fire over to first, and the out will be made at the first bag. You know, Barrel Roller told me, he said, hey, Rudy, you're going to be calling these games. Make sure you have somebody to do color with you. And everybody that I asked to join me either has games at this time or got asked to play in games, as there's a ball lifted out to left field. It's going to hit that gravel road, and you are not going to get a true bounce out of that. The left fielder thought he was. The ball bounced at least 5 feet away from him. As Mr. Reinhardt is rounding third, there's going to be a play at the third bag. The ball's going to get by him. Mr. Reinhardt's not going to stop running. He's going to keep running and get confused, stop, and then decide to commit to his initial decision for a 4-bagger. Lots happened on that play, ladies and gentlemen. The humanity of that play was something that we have rarely seen today. That'll bring up Mr. Crocker to the plate.
Our guy's the same way. First base.
And we've talked about that today. As Beefy delivers the ball, and it will be foul ticked back to the catcher for the second out of the inning. We've talked about the difficulties of playing the outfield here at Muffin Meadow. If you're not playing right field, center field, and left field, there are definitely some things you have to deal with, and that was an example of it. Mr. Hanselman drills the ball out to left field. Left fielder's going to take the chance again and try and play the ball off the gravel road. This time it will be a true bounce right to him for the third out of the inning. Tip City tallies an ace as they trail 3-6 heading into the bottom of the third. So I asked a bunch of people. I said, hey, I'm going to be calling games in the village if you're available. And they were all like, yeah, absolutely, totally, I'll be there. And then all of them all of them have games right now. They are nowhere to be found. So you're just getting a lot of Swamp Fox today. We are looking at Mr. Armburst will lead it off this inning for the Mules as they look to add more runs to their lead. We're at the 30-minute mark. Now, as you can see in the video, you see the shift happen because there's a left-handed hitter. Most matches today have been played by the customs set down by the host club, that base tenders need to be 2 steps from their bag as there's a line drive out to center field. It's going to get by the center fielder. It's going to roll to the fence as Mr. Armburst is going to round and head straight into second for an easy leadoff stand-up double. You could see the shift because they knew that he was a left-handed hitter, so the shortstop went over to second. The second baseman filled in between short and second and first, and the whole outfield shifted over. And then Mr. Armburst hit it right up the middle. Sonny at the plate with Old Glory. There's going to be a ball lifted out to left field. It is going to play the left fielder and get by the left fielder, rolling into the gully. Sonny's going to take his second bag as Mr. Armburst is going to come around to plate. Sonny's not going to stop running. He's going to go straight to third because the throw has to go over the trees. It hits the trees. Thankfully, it made it through the trees as Sonny is standing on third, and Mr. Armburst has tallied an ace for the Mules. That was another example. The left fielder got caught up in between playing the bounce and catching it on the fly, and the ball just skipped right by him and into the valley as Mr. Phillips steps to the plate. Beefy Phillips is going to line the ball right up the middle, taking his first bag with ease as Sonny crosses the plate to tally another ace. Mr. Walbeck will be up next. There has been a number of modifications made to Muffin Meadow over the years. Right field was filled with thick brush, and there were at least 2 other trees in left field and center field that the outfielders had to contend with. And over the years, the modifications were made to what we currently see today. Even the backstop that we see was added years ago, but it's been a modification as Mr. Walbeck lines the ball to the shortstop. The shortstop's going to flip it over to get Mr. Phillips at the second bag for the first out of the inning as Mr. Walbeck is standing on first, bringing Mr. Bailey to the plate.
Made memories. That was making a memory right there. That's what that was. Here's my jam.
Pound to the ground to the second baseman, who's going to scoop it, throw it, get the force out at the second bag. That's exactly what Tip City needed here as we negotiate the bottom half of the Mules order. They needed to get these outs if they want to have a chance in as we reach the halfway point of this match, time-wise. The pitcher assumed that was the third out and started walking off the field, hoping that his team would support him. Unfortunately, they knew how many outs were made. Mr. Ryan's at the plate. There we go. Oh, another swing and a miss. Mr. Ryan is definitely looking to just make some solid contact with the pitch right now. As he does, he hits it right back to the pitcher, who catches it on one hop for the first out, and out of habit throws it over to first for the extra out, which means nothing. Canal Fulton plates 2 more runs, giving them the 8-2 lead heading into the top of the 4th. Yeah, as I said, folks, there's only one more match after this. We're in the home stretch of the Ohio Cup. Matches are happening out on 17th Avenue, which is just outside the parking lot area of the Ohio History Connection, and there are 3 fields operating out there with multiple teams, and so we are coming to the end of the Ohio Cup for the 2023 season. It has been, we couldn't have asked for more better weather. It has been so great as Beefy Phillips delivers the ball to Mr. Blaine. You can see just in the village alone, traffic is starting to slow. People are settling in because as there's going to be a line shot down the line, trying to take advantage of the left fielder playing more towards the center of left field. There have been clubs from Arizona. There have been clubs from Michigan. There have been clubs from Pennsylvania. There have been clubs from Indiana, all joining us this weekend. It has been another great weekend of historic baseball here at the Ohio Cup. There we go. And a little whiff. There's a line shot into the tree. The tree is going to knock... Mr. Armbruster is going to make a play on an apple as the left fielder picks up the ball and throws it in to hold the runner at his first bag. It is a strategic move, hitting the ball straight into the tree. 60% of the time, it works every time. Two drastically different pitching styles between Beefy Phillips and Captain Ed Schumann, as there is a line shot past the third baseman into left field. Left fielder's going to pick it up, make a throw to second. Throw will be in time, but it will pull the second baseman off the bag. Uh-oh. Second baseman thought about making a run on it. We have runners at first and second with no outs here. Mr. Hurt at the plate. Pop up to right field. The right fielder was playing very deep. Mr. Blaine tried to make a play on it. He's going to throw it in. It's going to get to Beefy, but the ace will tally. Mr. Blaine has tallied. Mr. Hurt will take his first. Mr. Hauser will take his second. Bringing up Mr. Miller with no outs. There's a pound in the ground to Mr. Bailey at second. He's going to throw it over and get the out at second base. Great play by the shortstop there, ranging to get the out. But we're looking at runners at the corners with one out. Mr. McMurray coming to the plate. I'll tell you, the Ohio Village Muffins have done another fantastic job of putting together the Ohio Cup. It has been just really the event of events in the Midwest here 31 years. As there's a foul tick back, Pappy Burke's going to handle that, no problem. As he retires Mr. McMurray on a foul tick, bringing up Mr. Sugden. Sugden.
I'm going to try to hard it.
He's going to drive the ball out to left center field. All fielders are converging on it. They're going to try and make a play on it. Not able to do so as Mr. Hauser will come across the plate. Mr. Miller will take his second. Mr. Sugden will take his first. We're looking like a pinch runner coming in as Mr. Sugden is still dealing with a leg lower extremity injury. We're at the top of the order with Mr. Featherstone. 2 outs in the top of the 4th. But back to the Ohio Village Muffins. They have done you can hear the our friends the Grinders. What happened here?
If he doesn't finish, it's a balk.
I'm not 100% certain what happened. It looked like a pitch was delivered. The umpire was not paying attention. He had a conversation with Captain Ed as Beefy Phillips tried to pull a fast one. There is a foul tick for the out number 3. That was some shenanigans happening. Oh, I think, let's go back to the tape and we can see what happens. It looked like Beefy Phillips delivered the pitch as the gentleman was trying to show his preference, and he delivered the ball hoping to get a foul tick. He held the bat out to show his preference. Beefy Phillips delivered the ball. The ball hit the bat. Pappy Burke caught it. Beefy was saying it was a foul tick out. However, the umpire was not paying attention, and I believe the striker was not paying attention. So eventually, we got there with a foul tick out anyways. This will bring the Mules' bottom half of the order, Mr. Schumann, up to the plate. Here in the bottom of the 4th, the Tippecanoe Canal Jumpers tallied 2 aces that inning, bringing the score 5-8 in favor of the Mules. Captain Ed Schumann's going to lift the ball out to right center field. All fielders are converging on it. Center fielder is going to be able to retrieve that on the first hop for the first out of the inning. Mr. DeMore is going to step to the plate. Mr. DeMore is going to pound into the ground to the third baseman, who's going to pick it up, make the smart play, and not force a throw. Mr. DeMore has fleet of foot. There's going to be an errant throw to the pitcher, who's going to lose his footing. That has happened a lot today as Mr. DeMore takes his second back. Here's the thing about the fields, ladies and gentlemen. Across the board, Muffin Meadow and the fields out on 17th Avenue. It has not rained for a while here in Columbus. It's a hot day. The fields are hard. The fields are very dry. People have been slipping and sliding all day as Mr. Porter is going to watch a pitch go by. With 1 out and a runner on second, he's going to swing at a ball well above his hands, and it's going to be a pop out to the shortstop for out number 2. I have seen over the course of the past 2 days many people lose their footing, slide, spill out, rounding, trying to field. As Mr. Wetcher's going to lift the ball out to left field. It's going to get past the left fielder who was playing to the left side of the tree. The ball is down in the valley as Mr. DeMore is going to score. He doesn't know that the ball has come in. Once again, victim of the tree, not paying attention to where the ball is, and he's just going to walk right into the tag out, but the ace will tally. The tree giveth and the tree taketh away, as he assumed he was going to get a triple, but he had no idea that the ball had been thrown in because the tree was blocking his view and the shortstop was holding the ball. He basically just ran straight into the shortstop with the ball. Canal Fulton answers Tip City's 2 with 1 ace. After 4 innings, we're at the 46-minute mark. The Canal Fulton Mules lead 9-5.
Quick step. Work him over real good.
Mr. Reinhardt's going to lead it off as we inch ever so closer to the end of this match. This is kind of where you want to be if you're Tip City. You're down and you have the heart of your order coming up to the plate. Captain Ed behind the dish. I believe this will probably be the last inning of play. Oh, as Mr. Reinhardt's going to swing. It looked like he was trying to hit the ball to the right side of the field. Unfortunately, he hit it right behind him for a foul tick out number 1. I don't have the schedule in front of me, but it's safe to assume that this is the final match of the day for both of these clubs. As there is a line shot into left field, it's going to hit an apple and change direction, but it will allow for an easy stand-up single. A lot of these clubs, I believe, like the Canal Fulton Mules probably had a 10 o'clock game, whereas the Canal Jumpers had the 9 o'clock game. They've had a full day of baseball. Oh. There we go. There's another one. Our arbiter today is Red Lodenbacher. There's going to be a pop-up in front of the third base line. Scooped foul. Fielded and thrown, but it was in no man's land. There was not going to be a play made there, as we have runners on first and second, bringing up Mr. Blaine to the plate. The momentum seems to be joining the Canal Jumpers bench. There you go. There's going to be a throw. They're crafty. I don't know if it's smart to throw behind the lead runner, but they did it. So there you go. But no play was made. I believe a younger man at second would have advanced to third, but that is a wise man at second who realized that with 1 out, you don't want to be the second out with runners in scoring position. There's another one. There's going to be a ball lifted to the third baseman who's going to range into the foul territory, make the out. He's going to catch it with his hands. We still have runners at first and second with Mr. Hauser at the plate. Oh, there we go.
Not running like me. Get there.
2 outs. Anything can happen here in some 19th century baseball. You can turn the game around with 2 outs as there's going to be a pound in the ground up the middle. It's going to get by Mr. DeMore. All runners, oh, he's going to try and get fancy and flip it behind his back. He just flipped it straight up in the air. However, allowing all runners to safely make their bag. Bringing up Mr. Hurt with the bases loaded and 2 outs.
2 hands now, anything. Easiest way.
Canal Fulton leads 9-5. A 4-bagger here would be amazing. Mr. Hurt lines the ball down the line. Oh, but it's going to take a Sunday hop into the left fielder's hands. That was unfortunate. That was a solid hit. It hit the most solid part of the ground and kicked up right into the left fielder's hands, who was charging in. And that will conclude the match as the Canal and the Battle of the Canals, the Canal Fulton Mules, are victorious 9-5 over the Tippecanoe Canal Jumpers. I'm Swamp Fox Frias for Barrel Roller, who's here in spirit, the Roller Out the Barrel Show podcast. Can't thank you enough for joining us here at the Ohio Cup. We'll see you soon, folks.
Scorekeeper, thank you very much. Gentlemen, 3 Mules, Mules, hip hip. Huzzah!
No lay down victory at all, ladies and gentlemen. These men are fine strikers, fine fielders, put on a good exhibition of sportsmanship and fair play. We appreciate the game, gentlemen. We hope to see you another time. Gentlemen Mule, the champions of the Ohio and Erie Canal Free